Solve systems of equations using substitution, lesson 10 worksheet. Question number 4. The top y is the easiest variable to solve for, and I need to get rid of the negative 4x, so the inverse operation would be to add 4x to both sides. These would cancel. So I would have y equals, bring down the 4x, bring down the positive 8. So the 4x plus 8 will sub in for the y. And that would look like this. Pause your video, get it written down. All right. This is a multi-step equation. So I need to distribute this negative 3. So I need to multiply the negative 3 times 4x and the negative 3 times positive 8. So I'm still going to have 12x. Negative 3 times 4 would be negative 12x. Negative 3 times 8 would be negative 24. Keep the equal signs lined up, and we have negative 24 on the right. Now we combine like terms. Well, I have a positive 12x and a negative 12x. That means these numbers are opposites, and opposites will cancel out. So the positive 12x and the negative 12x cancel. So both the variable terms cancel, leaving negative 24 on the left side of the equation and negative 24 on the right side of the equation. And if you think about what we talked about with the solution chart, when your variable terms cancel and two of the numbers are equal to one another, this would be infinitely many solutions. So pause your video, get all of that written down. Okay, question number 5. Now, technically, I could solve for the bottom x or the bottom y. It doesn't matter. Both of them have a positive 1 coefficient. So either one would be perfectly fine to solve for. But I'm going to solve for the bottom x, which means, I'm going to put a 1 here. That means I'm going to have to subtract 1y from both sides. The y's would cancel. I'm going to have x equals negative 1y minus 2. Now, I solved for the bottom x, so it goes in for the top x. Solve for the bottom x, and it goes in for the top x. So you'll have 5 times the quantity, negative 1 minus 2, and then minus 5 equals negative 10. Take a moment, get all of that written down. All right, let's solve this multi-step equation. Five times negative 1y would give me negative 5y. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Bring down the negative 5y. Keep the equal signs lined up. Bring down the negative 10. Now we combine like terms. Almost every year, there's someone who tells me that my variable terms cancel out. But they don't. Those are both negative numbers. So if they're both negative, that means we're going to add them together and keep the sign. In other words, negative 5, and it gets 5 degrees colder, you would have negative 10y. Bring down the negative 10 on the left. Keep the equal signs lined up. Bring down the negative 10 on the right. All right, now it's a two-step problem. I have one variable term on the left, so I need to take my constant term of negative 10 to the right. The inverse operation would be to add 10 to both sides. The 10s would cancel. Bring down my negative 10y equals, well, negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Oftentimes, students will stop here and they'll be like, oh, my answer is no solution. But that's not the case. You only have no solution or infinitely many solutions when the variable terms cancel out. And these didn't cancel out, so I need to keep going. Which means I divide both sides by negative 10. They would cancel, and I would have y equals 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, we solved for one of the variables. So that means y is 0. So now you need to take that equation that we first solved for. You need to take this x equals negative 1y minus 2. Write it down. Where the y is, put parentheses. And now you're going to want to take that value of y that we solved for, plug it in, and solve for x. That's all the farther I'm going to go with you on number 5. Finish it on your own. If you have any questions on problems 4 and 5, please let me know. Please make sure you're writing everything down.